Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into the PTE's repeat sentence section. It seems simple, right?
It really does.
But it often trips people up. There's this hidden complexity we need to look at.
Exactly. And we've got some insights here from a listener, excerpts from a guide on mastering repeat sentence. It's quite fascinating, actually.
Fascinating how? What does it reveal?
Well, it gets into the nuts and bolts of how it works, but also, the little things that can really affect your score, maybe even why it's there in the first place.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive then is clear. Demystify this task, understand the tricky parts, and crucially, arm you, the listener, with strategies to tackle it, even those really tough sentences.
Precisely. Help you nail it.
So this repeat sentence task, it sounds so basic, you hear something, you say it back. Where does the difficulty actually creep in?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? The deception is in the simplicity. You hear it once, just once, and then you've got, what, about 3 seconds?
3 seconds, that's tight.
It is, and you have to repeat it exactly into the mic. The challenge, as the guide points out, starts scaling up pretty quickly based on a couple of things.
Like the length. I imagine longer sentences are harder.
Definitely. Length is a big one. The source notes that, most people are okay up to about 10 words.
Right. Manageable.
But then when you get beyond that, up towards the maximum of 15 words, that's where it gets significantly harder for almost everyone.
15 words is a lot to hold in your head after one listen.
It really is. And what's especially interesting, something the guide really highlights, is the impact of multi-syllable words.
Ah, okay. So like complex vocabulary?
Yes, but specifically where they are placed.
Yeah.
If you have these longer, clunkier words right at the beginning or the end of the sentence, that dramatically ramps up the difficulty.
Why is that, do you think? The start and end?
It seems to tax your short-term auditory memory more. You're trying to grab onto that first complex word while still processing the rest, or you get the whole sentence but stumble trying to recall that tricky final word accurately.
That makes sense. Can you give us an example? What does an easy one sound like versus a difficult one from the guide?
Sure. So an easy one, maybe 8 words. It is a very beautiful day outside today. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I could probably get that.
Or maybe 10 words. The European Union presides over much trade on the continent. Still flows quite nicely.
Okay.
But then compare that to a difficult 12-word example. The supercilious newspaper was written for the purposes of entertainment and spectacle.
Oof, supercilious. Right away, that's tougher.
Exactly. Or the full 15 words. The devaluation of the status of the intellectual and the authority of knowledge has plummeted.
Wow. Yeah, you can feel the difference immediately. Those longer, less common words, they just demand more concentration.
They really do, both to hear correctly and to repeat accurately in that short time.
So, given how tricky it can get with length and these unwieldy words, it does make you wonder, what's the point? Why is this task even in the exam? Does the guide offer any theories?
That's a great question, and it's one the author of the guide actually wrestles with, too. They label it a recall task, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they admit they couldn't quite figure out the exact reason it's there. They sort of muse, maybe it's for practical skills, like could you accurately take down a phone message?
Huh. A phone message? I guess that involves listening and repeating key info.
Potentially. But, thinking about it, it really tests your immediate auditory processing. How quickly can you grab onto spoken information, hold it, and reproduce it under pressure?
Like relaying instructions quickly, or confirming details in a meeting.
Exactly like that. We probably do mini versions of this all the time without thinking about it. It's about that instant verbal playback capability.
Okay, that makes more sense as a testable skill.
Mm.
So, even if the exact why is a bit fuzzy, we know it's hard. What's the absolute must-do strategy, especially for those killer 15-word sentences?
Right. The guide is really emphatic about this one core rule.
Yeah.
Always say something.
Always say something, even if you mangle it.
Yes. Even if you only remember the first few words or a phrase from middle, you absolutely must speak something into the microphone. Don't just stay silent because you missed parts.
Why is that so critical? Is it about partial credit?
Precisely. Think about the scoring algorithm. It's listening for anything it recognizes. If you say nothing, you get 0. Flat out.
Okay.
But if you say something, even if it's just the European Union, on that longer sentence, the algorithm will pick that up. You'll get points for content, for fluency, for pronunciation on the bits you did say correctly.
So partial points are better than no points.
Way better. The source says getting the easy ones right and always attempting the hard ones is key to getting those top scores, like beyond 79. It basically says, don't let this one task spoil your exam.
Don't let silence sink you. Got it.
It's about maximizing your score on every single item, even the tough ones, like, guessing on a multiple choice question instead of leaving it blank. Same principle.
That leads perfectly into scoring. You mentioned the algorithm.
Yeah.
How smart is this system? How does it actually evaluate what I say?
It's pretty sophisticated. It marks you on 3 things: fluency, pronunciation, and content.
Right.
And the really interesting part is that the algorithm knows the text. It has the original sentence script loaded in.
So it's comparing my speech directly to the original text.
Yes, but not just in a simple, crude word match way. It's using advanced speech recognition. It's listening for phonetic sounds, rhythm, intonation, pauses.
So it's not just about getting every single one perfect. It can handle some mistakes.
Exactly. That's a key takeaway from the guide. The people who design these algorithms write, and I quote, extremely complicated codes to cover missed words, sounds, pauses, strange chunking, repetitions, etc.
Wow.
So it's trying to assess your overall ability to understand and reproduce the spoken sentence, even with natural imperfections. It's not expecting robotic perfection.
That's actually quite reassuring. It means if I stumble slightly or miss a small word like a or the, it's not necessarily a disaster.
Not necessarily. Obviously, the more accurate, the better for the content score. But a minor slip shouldn't kill your fluency or pronunciation score if you keep going smoothly. Don't let a small error make you stop speaking.
Huge relief.
Yeah.
Okay, so knowing all this, the scaling difficulty, the say something rule, the smart algorithm, what are the best practical tips from the source for actually getting better at this? How do we practice effectively?
Well, first, the guide suggests focusing on the meaning. If you understand the sentence's idea, it can act like an anchor for your memory.
Makes sense. Grasp the gist.
But, and this is important, if the words are totally unfamiliar or the sentence is just too complex, don't get hung up on meaning. Just focus on repeating the sounds you hear.
Like mimicking.
Sorta. Echoing what you hear, even if you have to mentally break it down into chunks or longer segments, as the guide puts it. Sound over sense in that situation.
Okay. Echo the sounds. What about how we speak? Anything specific there?
Yeah, 2 key things. Speak clearly, obviously, but also try to match the cadence of the original speaker.
Cadence. You mean the rhythm and flow?
Exactly. The intonation, the pauses, the general rhythm. Matching that helps your fluency and pronunciation scores because you sound more natural.
Right. Imitate the musicality of it.
And a really crucial practical tip. Try not to correct yourself if you make a mistake mid-sentence.
Oh, really? Just push through.
Just keep going. Stopping to correct yourself often sounds worse, breaks your fluency, and wastes precious time. Remember, the algorithm can handle minor errors. Just finish the sentence the best you can.
Don't self-correct. That's a tough habit to break, but makes sense. Now, you mentioned things to do. Was there a big do not in the guide? Something to absolutely avoid?
Yes, a very clear one. It says, in caps, never write the words down while you are listening.
Don't try to take notes?
Absolutely not. Your brain just can't effectively listen intently and write simultaneously under that kind of time pressure.
You'll miss stuff while you're writing.
You will, and then you only have those 3 seconds to respond. Trying to read notes and speak, it's a recipe for disaster. Just listen. Focus entirely on listening.
Okay, listen only, no writing. Got it. This deep dive really shows it's more than just memory, isn't it? It needs specific, targeted practice. Does the source suggest good ways to get that practice? Real-world resources.
It does, thankfully. A really excellent recommendation is TED.com/talks.
TED Talks. How do they help?
Well, they're great because you have real people speaking naturally on diverse topics. You can listen to a sentence, pause, and practice repeating it. It's authentic material.
And TED has transcripts, right? That seems useful.
Exactly. That's the key. Click the transcript button. You can see the exact words. Plus, they have some really neat features for learners.
Like what?
You can actually slow down the playback speed using the settings gear icon on the video.
Oh, that's brilliant for tackling fast speakers or complex sentences.
It really is. And the transcript often has highlighting that follows the speaker colored text, the guide calls it. So you can easily see the sentence being spoken and check yourself immediately after you repeat it.
Slow playback, interactive transcript. That sounds like a perfect practice tool.
It's pretty ideal. Lots of content, good controls.
Any other suggestions for finding practice material?
Really, any podcast or radio broadcast can work. The main thing is listening to spoken English, though the guide does recommend sources with transcripts if possible, just so you can easily check your accuracy.
Makes sense. Check your work.
The key is just doing it consistently, active listening and repetition.
So wrapping this up, we've really journeyed through the PTE's repeat sentence task.
Yeah.
Started with that deceptive simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
Uncovered the challenges of length and word complexity, landed on that crucial always say something strategy.
Absolutely vital.
And understood how that quite intelligent algorithm actually gives you credit, even for imperfect answers.
And we've seen how targeted practice, using resources like TED Talks with their transcripts and speed controls, can really make a difference. It turns this recall challenge into something much more manageable.
So I guess the big takeaway is that repeat sentence isn't just mimicry. It's this interesting mix of listening skills, memory, processing speed, and being able to articulate clearly under pressure.
It really highlights how complex even seemingly simple communication acts can be.
And for you, the listener, maybe think about this. How often in your everyday life are you doing a version of this task without realizing it?
Yeah, like when you relay instructions your boss just gave you.
Or confirm details over the phone? Or even just repeat back a complex idea someone shared to make sure you got it right?
All the time.
So maybe honing these skills for the PTE, practicing that immediate auditory recall and clear restatement, doesn't just help you pass an exam. How might it actually translate to being a clearer, more confident communicator in those everyday real-world moments? Something to think about.